Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, good morning, whatever time you may happen to see this. I'm on here today because I would like to reach out to a couple people in the YouTube community. One is a gal by the name of Munchkin Girl that has left me several comments that I can't respond to because it's not showing on YouTube. It's only coming through on my email. And I have no way to get a hold of you or respond to your comments. Don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. Reach out again, and I'd love to converse. And also a message to somebody else by the name, goes by the name of Huber, that left me a comment, which was, YouTube is not for everybody. Huber, I'm going to disagree with you. I think YouTube is for everybody. All aspects may not be for everybody, and I'm going to sit here today and own up to that. For those of you that don't know nothing about me, I want to share some very personal information. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet and brief. And I hope you stay until the end, otherwise it may not make sense. This is not a lecture. This is not asking you to change your opinion. This is not condemning nor condoning. But something I hope maybe will give those of you out there in the YouTube community that seem to be finding it difficult to see the big picture. Now, we all know, if you've watched some of my other videos, I've commented on a particular YouTube channel. I got on YouTube in the very beginning, and my very first comment was because of empathy for what I felt for this particular content creator. I could identify with what he was saying. So I made a comment. I got on board and was trying to be supportive. Along the way here, I have seen other videos and a lot of other content creators, and some are for one content creator, some are not. I've seen a lot of hate from viewers against one creator or against others. And I really think this is so unnecessary. And Huber, this is the aspect of YouTube I find unattractive. To me, I like to come on to be entertained. I like to come on to be educated. I like to come on sometimes to kill time. Sometimes it's to listen to somebody else to get an insight on something. It gives me a reason to self-reflect. Now, I am a widow, and my husband's been gone for 10 years. The thing I miss most about him being on this earth with me, aside from any financial benefit of having another income, is I miss a dancing partner. I miss someone to go bowling with occasionally, even though we both didn't do well at bowling. I truthfully was terrible. But most of all, I miss the conversation. My husband and I were totally different as far as personalities. Our beliefs, our upbringings, there were similarities but very different. He was a registered Republican. I was a registered Democrat. He grew up in a non-practicing Protestant household. I became a Catholic at the age of 12. He was very laid back. I'm a very type A, outgoing, dynamo, reach for the stars, take a risk kind of person, okay? But over the years, when he passed, we were just shy, by less than a month, of celebrating our 36th wedding anniversary. Over the years, the benefit of being with somebody that you like, not only love, but like very much. We would have daily conversations. We talked about everything. We could disagree and disagree. Sometimes he would show me the way, or his thought, and he could convert my thinking to his way. We melded, okay? I learned to appreciate his taste in music, and he learned to appreciate mine. So it was a blending. And that's what I miss most. And that's probably one of the things that I have benefited from watching certain YouTube channels. Ray Bone Crusher was the person that motivated me to come on in the very beginning. And I still like listening to Ray. I don't always agree with him, but more often than not, I think he's a good man. His laid-back personality and his wisdom reminds me of my husband. I have recently watched another YouTuber who had commented on something I had posted. So I looked him up, listened to one of his videos, and man, again, I don't know that I would disagree with everything he has to say, but boy, that one video I watched was spot on 100%. And sometimes when I've listened to Ray, I almost feel like my husband's speaking to me through Ray, giving me advice or giving me something to reflect on. And this is exact reaction I had when I watched this other gentleman the other day. And he goes by Psychobabble Rap, PBR. Now, I initially wanted to come on, and my gut reaction was, after seeing the last video I saw regarding a personal situation that none of us have any business being involved in. I became so emotional about the whole thing, and I was going to react. Well, I have held back, and I've done some self-reflection. I've thought about things. I thought about what my husband would say if he were here to discuss it with me. I listened to what Psychobabble had to say. I have watched every possible channel on YouTube that is involved or making commentary or anything on this one particular content creator, and those of you that have seen any of my videos know whom I'm referring to. I am not here today to judge this gentleman. I'm not here to defame or anything. I'm here to share my story. And for those of you that think I am for or against, stay to the end and maybe you'll think differently. But anyway, as I said, I'm a widow. I also had a twin brother, and I say had because my twin brother chose to end his own life when we were 27 years old. So the other day when I watched a particular video on YouTube by the son of a very popular content creator, and he expressed that he had had depression and thoughts of ending his own life, I couldn't handle it. It brought up emotions to me, and my empathy for this young man was so great. I still feel that way. But I'm trying to tell you what may have swayed my thinking one way or another, okay? I mentioned that I'm Catholic. The reason I say that is because if you've ever grown up in the Catholic Church, you are probably not well-versed or well-read in the Bible. Now today that's a little bit different. I think they have Bible classes and different things. But when I was growing up, we had catechism, and it was more about learning certain prayers and the doctrines of the church. And it makes no difference to me whether you grew up in a Baptist church, a Methodist. The only church that I would actually say I don't believe is the Church of Scientology. But again, that's not for me to say. But when I say I'm Catholic, it's when I listen to people that can quote the Bible and the scriptures, I'm impressed. And my husband, who was basically of a Protestant mindset, didn't believe in organized religion, okay? But he could quote the Bible inside and out, and he was well read. And he lived his life as a true Christian. I, on the other hand, couldn't quote the Bible, okay? So I guess I'm overly impressed sometimes when I hear somebody quoting the Bible and think, wow, you must really be a good Christian. I'm assuming, okay? And we know what happens when you assume, you know, that old saying. Anyway, I get upset when I see YouTubers attacking one another, okay? We have folks that have taken a stand And because one YouTube creator quotes the Bible and professes to do good deeds, we all assume this is a good Christian. Now, I'm not here to say whether he is or isn't, okay? I fell into that mindset, okay? Was I being gullible? At times I believe I have been. But it's not my call to say whether he's a good Christian or not. Only God knows what this man is all about. But when I hear his child come on and say that he's had a horrible life, and he points his finger at his father, there have been those that are trying to attack the child or attack the ex-wife, the mother that raised the child, and different things. And folks, we've not been behind those closed doors. We don't know. I'm going to tell you right now that the reason I shared the business, the privacy, the personal business about my own twin committing or taking his own life is because I believe in God. I'm very faithful. I wanted to be a nun. And at the convent when I was young, went for a retreat because I wanted to go in for my high school years as an apostolate. Fortunately, those nuns were very wise, and they told me to go home and pray for my vocation, which was a pretty good thing because I'm rather bawdy, and I don't know that they would have liked that, or I would have lasted. And I would have missed out on the joy of being a wife and mother, so it was probably a good thing that I prayed for my vocation. But the difference between my brother and I, we were raised in the same household, which was extremely dysfunctional, by a single mother who had many, many problems throughout her life, many of which were her own doing. Many were a result of what I learned as an adult was probably abuse. She made bad decisions, okay? But didn't make her a bad person. She just had a difficult life. She caused me a lot of headaches, a lot of heartaches, and cost me a lot of money from the time I was 12 years old, bailing her out of things. But while I didn't like her at times, I didn't like her actions, I did love her. And I did the right thing as she grew older and needed assistance. I made sure we provided it, okay? When she passed, I had no regrets. I feel for any child that feels like their life has been ruined because of their parents. I was blessed. My brother and I at times were bounced around to other family members. I think I had a wonderful childhood. I was exposed to different types of people. I think it made me more well-rounded. My brother, on the other hand, it was difficult for him. He acted out, probably for attention or seeking love. I went the other way. I wanted so badly to be loved and shown love that I had to do good. I had to be the good girl, and was always very conservative, very trying to please people, trying to be funny, so people would like me. My brother, like I said, was very angry. In high school, he dropped out and wanted to walk across the stage senior year, but I said, hey, that's not fair. I put in 4 years, you didn't. I was the preppy. I was the girl in the cardigan sweater and matching skirt and knee highs. He was the greaser that turned into a hippie. Nothing wrong. He was having a hard time finding himself. But we were very different personalities. And the reason I share this is because I'm trying to say that you can take two individuals that can grow up in a household together, born during the exact same time frame, so going through at the same time period with the same DNA, and you can have two different outcomes. I'm no better than my brother was. He just had a different perception of life. And I think the true difference that helped me get through some of the times in my life and some of the heartaches and some of the difficulties was my belief in God. And I know it, okay? I know it. And I'm not perfect, but I'm pretty comfortable in my skin that if I pass tonight, I I don't feel a lot to worry about, folks. I'm not perfect. I still work on being overly opinionated and too judgmental. And that's why some of this has been a good eye-opener. And as heavy as it's made my heart, I have thought and prayed and reflected and looked inward. And if there's any message here, I'm going to ask anybody that sees this to do the same thing. I cannot condemn a father for what his child says because that's the child's perception. Now, if in fact the father has done things to this child and does not make amends in the appropriate way, then shame on him. The father is the one that is going to have sleepless nights and guilt. On the other hand, a child, we are what we perceive. No baby is born into this world hating people. No baby is born in as a racist. No baby is born in with fear. It's what we learn or what we perceive to be the result of that around us. You can have a child in a household where there's a lot of cussing and swearing. There's a lot of food on the table. It may not be very clean. And that child may grow up to be feeling very loved, with positive self-esteem, and do good things in life. Now, they may cuss a lot because that's what they've been exposed to, okay? And you can take a child that grows up in a very, much more Christian, strict environment. And if for whatever reason that child does not feel loved, feels berated, not worthy, that's what they're going to carry with them, and it can take a lot of years to overcome that. When you grow up, whether it's by divorce or other situations, those things carry with you, folks. It takes years. Now, I've never been to a psychiatrist. I've been able to self-talk myself through many things, and when times have been bad, I've tried to figure out what is the lesson I am to learn, okay? And I'm a happy person. And I'm not angry at God for taking my husband. I'm not angry at God for taking my child. There's a reason. You know, and one of the things is I never had to watch either of them suffer. And I'm constantly grateful every day when I think of them, how grateful I am, how blessed that I didn't have to watch two of the people I've loved most in my life not suffer. Because I did watch my brother suffer. And I did watch my mother suffer. And that's horrific pain when there isn't much you can do. Okay? So, with all this being said, I'm going to continue to watch all of the channels that are investigating, commenting, digging, all these things on this creator. My opinion of the creator is not the same as it once was. But I'm trying not to be judgmental. I cannot watch his channel for entertainment any longer. I find it distressing. Some of the things that I've seen, I find hypocritical. And so rather than get upset or pass judgment, I'm choosing not to watch. I'm not saying I won't ever watch again, but it's difficult for me right now. Other channels I've watched that are large and are featuring this, I don't agree with everything they say. Some of which I do. I really do. But I think that maybe the poking fun and calling names has gone on too far. I like the commentaries, okay? But some of which I'm seeing, I'm having a hard time because you can present information about one person that proves that what they are saying is not to be believed and not true. And I think that's good. But I think when we start digging into the lives of that individual's um, friends or people in their circle, I think we're taking it a bit too far. Because sometimes people do things because they feel that's their duty out of the goodness of their heart, and because they are good Christians. If they've been vulnerable or gullible and they are doing somebody else's bidding for the wrong reason, that's another story, but maybe they don't realize it. So I don't think we should be condemning people without really knowing all the facts. And that's just my take on it, folks. There has not been one channel that I've watched that has done anything about this that I don't get off watching and agree with something. Some of it I can't. And I get torn back and forth, back and forth. So it's difficult. Will I watch it? Probably yes, because I kind of want to see how this ends up. To my way of thinking, in my mind, we have a lot of the pot calling the kettle black from all sides. I see a lot of hypocrisy. I don't know who is right, and I don't know who's wrong. And that's where, when I say I've got to work on my being so judgmental, I'm trying very hard, folks. I tend to try and do good. And my husband used to call me a do-gooder. I'm not a do-gooder. I'm just trying to treat others the way I would want to be treated. And I'm fully aware when I do something, it may take me a day, may take me a month, may take me a year, when I know I've done something that probably wasn't kind. I have the ability to say I'm sorry, and I have the ability to try and learn from that. I think that is what we're supposed to do in life, learn. And I am hoping if any of you are watching this and have stayed on long enough to hear to the end, we're all good people out there. We need to lift one another up and not tear people down. I think if you are exposing untruths, that's great. I just hope you do it for the right reason. Okay? The same thing if you are, and content creators have a right to do this. Build a channel and you're using this to help build your channel. Nothing wrong with that. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that, as long as you're not hurting another individual for monetary gain. That's where I have a problem. I know that this is a way you build channels because some of the larger YouTubers have come right out and said this is good content. And yes, it is good content, but good should come out of it. And my fear right now is there's going to be no good for anybody out of any of this. Not the principals involved, not the lawyers involved, not the other content creators, including myself, that have made comments. No good comes out of trash talking, condemning, judging another person. We can think it, but we don't need to really act on everything. And if I owe somebody an apology out there, I'm apologizing today. I don't condemn and I don't condone. I think the way I do based on the way I was raised, situations in my own life, I may react to something differently than the next person. And that's what I'm asking. Folks, when you're looking at this through one set of lenses, they may not be the same lenses that I'm looking through, okay? It's why we all think differently, possibly in politics, because policies may affect us differently. There may be a reason someone's a little bit more liberal than someone else, okay? I just think we need to be a little bit kinder and pray. Pray for all involved. If somebody is doing harm or doing things maliciously, maybe they can't help it. Maybe they have issues, mental, physical, financial, that put them in a position to do something that's not right, okay? I just think everybody should take a look at things with an open mind. So, if you've watched this today, I hope you take a look inside. I hope you look back and reflect on your experiences as a child or as a young adult or growing forward. You know, you learn a lot as you get older. With age does come wisdom, hopefully, for most people. Okay? I don't think the same way at 72 as I did at 22. And I certainly don't look the same. Even though my husband used to say to me, and I still miss this, I still think you're the prettiest girl in the room, which we all know was a bunch of BS, but it felt good to hear it. And with that, I think you're all good people out there. I think we're all good people at heart. I mean, the devil does work through some of us at times, but I think we all have the capability of being kind and loving to others. So with that, thank you for listening. I hope this makes some sense. I hope you understand my motive. And I hope you will reflect on what I said. And if it helps you in any way with not choosing sides, not condemning, why do you think the way you do? And maybe if you can't change your opinion or you can't look at it openly, maybe it will make you stop and think why somebody else might disagree with you. Okay? And rather than attack them, leave them alone. So with that being said, I hope you all have a great day. Stay blessed. And be healthy. Okay? And thank the Lord every day you wake up and you're breathing and you have loved ones around you, because that's something to be grateful for. Okay? With that, have a good day, and I love y'all.